I think mock test was one of the most important things that I had to do after the board entrance exam, because I realized these mock tests would increase my speed and efficiency. You might work on so many areas of the subjects from English to legal, but unless you can spend 2 hours completing these questions, it's really difficult to get the speed and efficiency. So I think mock tests must be a primary aim within the last 3-4 weeks of the exam. They really help you.
Extremely important. In fact, at this stage, I suggest that you better be attempting one mock at least every day. It is very important in two ways. A, you understand how exactly you should be managing your time while writing the exam, which will be very important when you're actually writing the exam. You cannot just start a section and spend as much time as you want in that. So only if you're writing a mock regularly do you know which section should require how much time, which depends on different individuals. And also you'll be exploring a lot of different kinds of questions, and so your understanding will be more holistic in terms of what you should be knowing. You'll get to know new things that you've probably not covered in the way you're prepared, and you'll be able to cover up more topics as required.
Because the two tests, though they're similar and have the same subjects, they have a difference in terms of the time that is accorded to every section, the marks that is accorded to every section. So for example, if you're given 2 hours for a 200 mark CLAT paper, which has different sections, 50 marks for legal reasoning, 50 marks for GK, 35, and then different marks accorded to different sections. On the other hand, for AILET, you have 90 minutes that are there, a 150 mark paper, 35, 35, 35, 35 for 4 sections, and 10 marks for maths. So there's a difference in terms of the time that you give to put any particular section, which is why mock tests here play a very important role. If your priority is AILET and you give AILET mocks at a much higher frequency, chances are that you will be able to gauge and understand in a much better way how much time each section requires. For me, my only advice, if you're going through both CLAT or AILET papers or mocks, legal reasoning followed by GK, followed by logic, followed by maths, followed by English was what my combination of subjects was when I gave CLAT.
Regarding mock, I think statistics never lie. They show what your true position is. Also, I think the best thing about mock is time management. Like I remember very well, I used to give 30 minutes to the math section and still I could not do well. So after analyzing that, okay, particular section, I'm giving this much time. English, okay, no. GK, I remember very well, I used to like put time limit like 10 minutes. If I exceed, I used to skip that section because you cannot compromise one section for the other. So regarding mock, the best thing is you can decide the time limit. Okay, there's this section, I need to give this much time. Also, they show like which subject is your strength, which is your weakness. Like I was particularly I had a phobia, okay. So maths was something like I could never do. So from mocks, I could like actually understand, okay, once you look at the question paper, you could identify, okay, these topics I'm weak at. So you can skip those questions, move on to the next. And also the best thing with mocks is like, you actually gain confidence, okay, especially with legal reasoning. When you repeatedly solve again and again, there's some questions I remember after giving like mocks repeatedly, some questions were there like I used to get like this, okay, fine, this question I've done. So it actually saves a lot of time, plus mocks reveal your true position. Like some people think, okay, I've studied this, I've covered this topic, but there lies a difference when you read that topic, you know it, and when you can attempt a question on it. So because it's completely aptitude based, so I think mocks there, the importance of mocks shows up. Yeah.
Apart from the mock, I would suggest this candidate to go back and see the areas where he's weak or he's strong so that he can work upon. I think for something like GK and maths, that's extremely important because you see where you're heading. Maybe in current affairs you're weak, so you can go back and start reading papers, or maybe if you're weak in some areas of math which require a lot of time to solve, maybe you can go back and see whether you can learn some shortcuts and solve them within a limited span of time, which is one of the most essential criteria in this exam. For say something like GK, as I went through the past year papers, I realized there were specific patterns that these tests followed. For example, GK would have at least 2 or 3 questions on awards, 2 or 3 questions on important constitutional posts, and so on and so forth. So I think for me, it was more about cracking these patterns in terms of going back and seeing who was the most recent appointed person in an important constitutional post, or maybe go and check which was the important day or event was celebrated. I think these things do matter because when you know a specific pattern has been followed for the last couple of years, cracking that would be really beneficial for you in the long run.